you want to start with an opening statement?
Good afternoon. I mean, it's opened my garage door today and it felt like baseball season. I don't know if y'all had that same effect, but excited for baseball. I guess opening statement wise, we're ready to play. We've played Hoosiers for 9 months, so we're ready to play somebody else. We have a great opponent coming up in Middle Tennessee State, Conference USA team, and it'll be a great matchup on the weekend. Be a situation where two pretty good programs. Our ball club, it's a lot of new faces. We lost 9 from last year, 5 in the Pro Bowl, 4 really good seniors also that are out working. But we have a good group back. Feel like we're a very talented, older, experienced pitching staff. I'm hoping defensively, I think we have a very talented defensive group, and I call it an evolving, maturing offense day to day where we're working in that area. So I think we have a chance to be pretty good offensively, but we're still trying to get there. Most of our work probably is evolving into what type of team we're going to become. I think a lot of leadership. We've lost, in the last 2 years, some of the leaders that we've lost in this program have been huge. And so I think that's one of the big areas we're fighting right now and trying to work in is finding some leadership in our ball club. We have some great leadership, but leadership from top to bottom and how we do things. Questions?
Do you know how the pitching rotation?
Pitching rotation. Kyle Hart will pitch on Friday night. Evan Bell will pitch on Saturdays, and Caleb Berger on Sundays. For our next couple of weeks are just 3-day series.
Last year it seemed like the identity of the offense was kind of small ball oriented. Do you expect that to be the same this year?
I'd call it more blended. I mean, we want to be able to play some small ball. I just think you have to in college baseball now. There's going to be time and place that you have to win the 2-1 game. We'd also like to win the 10-8 game too. So we have some of the better power hitters in the league, I think. But we have some runners, and we want to be able to win. The way we pitch and defend, we got to be able to win that Friday night 3-2 ball game.
You mentioned it in the opening statement, but how much confidence does having such a veteran staff available? You got a lot of options. How much confidence does that give you?
It's a lot. I mean, the pitching staff, and we all know baseball is about starting pitching and pitching all together. And we have great starting pitching, great bullpen depth, experience. It just gives you a lot of confidence of sitting in there. And the hardest part is getting enough innings for everybody, especially early when we're only playing 3 games a week. This time next year, I'll be a little more nervous because I think we lose like 8 older pitchers that are pitching almost every week. So it's a luxury that we're going to enjoy this year.
It seemed like, I guess, 2013, 2014, this team had Aaron Slagers, Joey Donato, who they can kind of rely on going into Friday nights, and that seemed to really set the tone for your weekend. Do you think Kyle can be that going into this year?
No doubt. I think Kyle's that Friday night type of starter. He proved it last year. We really took off again last year when he really got all the way back and healthy and ready to pitch, and I think that's what we're going to see this year. With him, he's been really good in our scrimmages against our guys.
What's the status of Sully Sadler and where you fit into the team this year?
Sully's actually had a pretty good spring training. He's healthy. He's recovered from arm surgery, and he's thrown in 3 scrimmages at this point. So he's probably still he's healthy and ready to go. We're trying to get pitch counts up and things like that, but he's definitely in our mix, which is exciting.
Is catcher a question mark for you right now, or how do you feel about that?
We're just young. It's a question mark. I'd say it's a big question mark with us. I think we're talented in that area. We're just young. We have Ryan Feynman's a freshman catcher, very talented catcher. Demetrius Webb is a sophomore catcher who's caught some for us last year. So that's probably one of our areas of concern, but I'm actually they're both pretty good defensively.
What are some of your expectations for Alex Krupa and where does he fit in the lineup?
Alex is dynamic outfielder, good base runner. He is a left fielder probably for us right now, leadoff type of guy.
Some of those freshmen who played a lot last year, how do you feel like they've kind of progressed in their first offseason?
That's the key to our team, probably. I keep challenging them. That sophomore group of how they're growing and doing with a Logan Sowers or a Laren Eustace or an Isaiah Pasture. I think some of those guys are be the difference if we're looking up at the end of the year and having a lot of success. A lot of our sophomores will really mature into, that's usually in college baseball and a great program. Some of your best classes are your sophomore classes. I'm excited to see them play. They've had a good fall and spring, so we're excited about them that way.
Sammy, you talked about Craig Deedle, obviously had a good year last year, but I think at the end of the year you talked about the next steps forward for him. Has he taken some of those in your mind?
Definitely. Gotten bigger, stronger, has had a really good spring training. One of the premier players in our league, so I think that's the exciting part. He'll play center field and hit like he did last year, and, just very mature about how he handles everything.
Any more questions?
Coach, in the bullpen, from 8th, 9th inning to even middle relief, how do you replace guys like Luke Harrison, Ryan Halstead, or what do you see at that stage in the bullpen? Those are tough guys to replace. Luke Harrison, Scott Effross. But I'll tell you, our depth is just, we got a lot of depth in there. We're going to pitch Jake Kelser at the back of the game. So last year he was one of our midweek starters. He'll pitch at the back side of the game. We still have Thomas Belcher back, who's kind of the X factor. I mean, he can run out there and throw 3 innings. He could set up for an inning. He just does so many things from the different arm slots. And then we have a bunch of different options. Our left-handed options, our right-handed options. Will Corson-Carr's had a great spring training, a guy that we can look forward there. Austin Foote. I mean, we just had some guys out of our bullpen that we think we can match up, very well.
I guess, what do you think you can get out of Corson-Carr? You obviously had the College World Series run and then it was kind of quiet the next couple of years. What do you think you can get out of him this year?
We've talked about he started great, he's going to end great. So that's the mentality. We all know he has great stuff. Commanding the stuff sometimes has been an issue, but that's kind of our motto is he's going to end like he started, and kind of jump in there. He's had a really good. I mean, it's as good a stuff as anybody out there, and he's thrown a lot of strikes here in spring training.
Is Ramos back?
No, he's in school, but he is not with the team right now. So he's not with the team permanently. Yeah, he's just working on his degree and everything.
What happened there? Is that a
I'm gonna go no comment. Is that all right? But he's not with the team.
okay? What kind of hole does that create then on both sides of the infield?
It's tough. I mean, he's a really good player, really good defender. He's we got Isaiah Pasture, Brian Wilhite, some of those guys. Tony Butler's a JUCO kid who'll give us some depth.
Who would you expect to see replace Rodriguez over at second base this year?
Right now, it's Tony Butler, a junior college kid we brought in, very talented, player.
Anything else?
I guess just in a larger sense, you talked about coming in and maintaining a winning culture. This program's never been to 3 NCAA tournaments in a row. Do you see a different approach in guys, young guys, old guys, just because it's maybe become a little bit more of a habit?
I think the biggest part with us is we're trying to, and it is a part of a habit, and I think that's the pride of the program right now is to continue on that tradition. We're in a spot where a lot of that responsibility is going to our younger kids because we have a lot of seniors, but then we have the bulk of our team is younger. And as we transition into that group, seeing that group take that responsibility is huge. And that's what I'm excited to see us evolve as the season goes on because I think we can do some neat things in that area. We have some great leaders in the young kids. As sometimes the young ones are scared to lead, and just they got to be able to jump out there and play and take pride in the program. I think is a big part.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Bruce.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, we have senior left-handed pitcher Kyle Hart, junior right-handed pitcher Jake Kaiser, sophomore outfielder Logan Sowers, and junior outfielder Craig Deedle. Let's just open it up for questions.
Logan, from the end of last season, playing in Cape Cod for the summer and throughout your first off season, what'd you try and focus on? I guess specifically playing in Cape, what'd you learn about yourself going up against some of the top collegiate talent for
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah, playing in the Cape, you face a ton of good arms. So I think coming back, experiencing that, and coming back in the fall and early this spring, I think the game's kind of slowed down for me a little bit, and I just feel a lot more comfortable at the plate, laying off pitches that I should be laying off, which that was one of my problems last year with the strikeouts, and I just feel a lot more comfortable.
Kyle, what are your full expectations coming back, having a full season to finish off your senior year here this year?
Yeah, well, obviously it's been tough for me, kind of split my last 2 seasons in half, and I talked to my dad last week, and I think we both agreed just going out there for this team and completing a full season, regardless of, whether that's 80, 100 innings, whatever, just eating innings and contributing in a positive way and in a way that allows us to win, whatever game I'm pitching in. Because it's tough. Like, you feel like you contributed, but you really didn't contribute as much as you could have had you been healthy and maybe had, like I always said, had I taken care of my body more, but had I been in the training room more, had I done more in the weight room. So I feel like, I can finally sit back and say I've done everything I can and I'm ready for a full season.
I guess, is anything different for you being the Friday starter that you've always kind of either been Saturday or Sunday for a lot of your career? Do you go back and talk to Joey or anybody like that about whether there's anything different about being the Friday night guy?
The only difference in my opinion about pitching on Friday is you have to face the team's, the other team's Friday guy, which is probably the biggest challenge, to face the Mike Schwarens, the Adcocks of Michigan, just those guys that are as good, if not better than you are. And so, I talk to Joey on a regular basis anyway. I don't think he's going to give me any secret insight about how to win 36 games and throw 350 innings. But, yeah, those guys are obviously an outlet for me, and I've talked to Slagers and Efros and Halstead a lot. But just going out and competing like I usually have, it doesn't matter what day it is. It doesn't matter. And I've always said this. It doesn't matter if you're pitching Sunday afternoons, Tuesday nights, cleanup innings. You got to go out and give your best stuff regardless of the time and the place.
Jake, it sounds like you're going to be in the bullpen, maybe one of the back-end guys, closers. How do you feel about that kind of transition after starting the last
The back half of the game is kind of where I started my career out. It was a place I was comfortable in, and I'm happy to be back there. I'm not mad about being back there. I'm enjoying it. It's going to be a fun year. So yeah.
What changes in that kind of approach for you, mentally?
Oh, it's a mindset. You got to go in there. You got to know you're the man. You got to know that that Lamotas can give you the ball and you can shut it down and you can walk off that field with a W.
I don't know if challenge is the right word, but I guess what's the process of working with, a new catching tandem this year? I know you had Demetrius last year, but what's, I guess, the process of, building that rapport and, working with a couple new guys?
Well, both of them have been great, to be honest. Like Lamotas said, they're great receivers of the ball, and they're only getting better. So, and honestly, throwing is not a problem for either of them. They can compete with the Hartong and the Schwarber the past few years of throwing people out. So, really defensively, and it's not an issue. I think more with Coach Bunn and them is just getting on the same page. Because we're gonna throw whatever Coach Bunn calls, but I think it's just a feel thing, and the next few weeks will really smooth things over because they just need to get game reps, as do we. But just as a unit between us, Coach Bunn, and the catchers, I think the next few weeks will provide a lot of help.
Craig, what's just, your key for building on last year? Obviously, you were great for this offense. How do you kind of build on that?
I feel like this year I need to improve my. We have this thing called quality at bats, and that's mostly just seeing more pitches, getting deeper into pitch counts, taking the walk or the HBP, the hit by pitch. Pretty much just anything to help my teammates and help our team.
Kyle, you went through the Tommy John process. How much have you tried to help Sully as he's going through his?
Well, both Sully and Luke Stevenson, who Luke you guys don't know a lot about. He's going to contribute this year, but both of those guys had a similar surgery, as far as I know, and yeah, I've been an outlet for Sully for sure. Obviously, it's a different surgery, but a lot of the Tommy John rehab is shoulder rehab. It's not. There's no special elbow exercises you do. It's a lot of shoulder stuff. So we were doing a lot of the same program, and I think he kind of latched on to me, and I still throw with him quite often. We just happen to be on on similar schedules the past few weeks, but just talking pitching all the time, because I think he's past the rehab point. I do. I think it's kind of getting out of his head, and just getting some more game action is going to be important for him too. But Sully knows that he can come to me for anything, and I can go to him too, because there'll be days where we're both feeling the same thing, and I think it's been great for us to just always have someone in a similar situation, regardless if that's injury or personal stuff. Just to have an outlet and have somebody to talk to has been great for both of us.
I guess for either Logan or Craig, what are the early challenges of whether it's heading to Tennessee or Fullerton, of just seeing consistent live pitching this early in the season? Obviously, maybe been outside a little bit, but going through the snow that's outside right now, just seeing pitching for the first time in game, what are some of those big challenges?
Well, we've been in Mellencamp to seeing live pitching, obviously facing our pitchers, which are really good arms, 3 days out of the week. So I don't think it'll be too bad or too big of a transition from that standpoint.
Yeah, and actually in Mellencamp it's a little bit harder to see the ball, so it might even be easier once you get out on the field. So that might even help.
Yes, either for Jake or Craig. Coach Ramona said that the key really is going to be the sophomore class and how much you guys have grown in a year. Where do you guys feel like you're at right now?
I think we feel really comfortable. We did have a lot of playing time last year, at least me and Isaiah did. And Laren's extremely talented as well. Both those guys are extremely fast. We're going to use them a lot on the base paths. And I think it's just getting out there and just trying to feel comfortable,
Jake, I think at the end of last season, you talked about, looking at this year and maybe having a little bit more consistency, maybe a little bit more command. Is there anything you've done to maybe mechanically work on that, or is there anything that you're doing to kind of channel that a little bit more consistently going into this year?
Yeah, me and Coach Bunn have worked pretty much all fall and all spring on being a more fluid and efficient pitcher, being able to repeat my mechanics, get in the zone constantly, and being able to be an efficient pitcher to where I can get that 3 outings in a series or that 2 outings in a series, pitch more than 1 inning. And we've worked a lot on that, a lot on just repeating my mechanics and going out there and pounding the zone.
Does a velocity jump come with just the repetition of that?
Yeah, the velocity has jumped up a little bit, and hopefully with working throughout the rest of the season, it goes up even more. So, yeah.
Any more questions? All right, thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.